Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're turning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So channel members, you'll have a collective message post tomorrow evening. Definitely check that out. If you're interested in evocations to the Dark Goddess, a subliminal, that is posted over on the other channel. It was posted for the Black Moon. Still good. So definitely check it out, especially if you work with darker goddess deities or align with the dark feminine at all. So let's go ahead. Okay. Taking a step aside. And allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay, I'm just going to run through some things so that I can get the energy out of the way so that I can get to this reading. There's a lot of information for various people coming through. It's not necessarily for the collective I'm going to be reading for, though it will resonate with different members of the collective this message is actually for. For some of you, you've been having the bindu, which is in the back of the head, in the back of the crown. You've had that open up. Some of you have been having very intense sacral chakra openings where you feel heat. There's also something about premonitions. Premonitions in the dream space especially that have been ramping up for somebody. Okay. Seraphim, really important for somebody right now. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay. There has been a point at which there was something within our life where we feel like either we reached a brick wall, or we reached the dead end on a particular situation or circumstance. It's just very tangled. It's very tangled energy. This is quite possibly a situation that we felt like we weren't able to navigate. I'm feeling very strongly this here represents the Black Moon. It's almost like that energy of there's nothing more left here. For some of you, this may be something external to you, but some of you are realizing that what was external to you is actually the internal conversation. And so there's something here about a revolution that's taking place. Ooh. That was my stomach. Grelly. And here what we have is the Lover. So for some of you, this may be in a love situation, but I'm actually feeling more than that. This is about the inward journey of love, right? So this is very much a manifestation kind of message that's coming forward during this Black Moon. And, you know, these are timeless messages. So for whenever you watch this, it can apply. It's just that we just recently had a Black Moon, and I know that that activated this for many people. It's this understanding that our external reality, with all its trials, tribulations, with all the difficult people, especially with the people, they really are a reflection of our internal dialogue with ourselves, right? If you have low self-esteem, you'll attract people who really make that low self-esteem worse. Your external reality is constantly a dialogue that's trying to highlight areas of yourself that need to grow, whether that's learning to stand up for yourself and leave situations, or if it's needing to understand that the situation is merely a reflection that's highlighting your own insecurities, your own war, right, in some way. And someone here, they've come to this dead end, and that in that dead end, they have been forced to face the energy of the Lover. Now, okay, so they're wanting me to pull the Lover's card. I don't know that I have a suitable one here. We'll try from this deck. Oh, and it's peeking out like it's meant to be. All right. You know, I can't bring myself to put the stickers on my tarot cards. I just can't. So there we go, the Lover's card. And what we have here with the Lover's card is we have the masculine aspect, the feminine aspect, and we have the Archangel here. And one of the things that's going on here is this is alchemy, right? This is first and foremost, the major arcana is about internal alchemy. If you are someone who's familiar with Kashmir Shaivism, I want to point something out. There are 22 sutras, right? The beginning sutra is 22 sutras, and there are 22 major arcana cards. The last sutra is basically about creating a new universe, and the last Major Arcana card is about the cosmic hermaphrodite completing its lesson and creating a new universe. So if you are someone that studies that, sync them up to each other. The reason why I say that is because for those of you who are familiar with Hinduism, you'll understand that it's all about the self, right? And that's really the story of the Major Arcana. It seems like it's about the external world, but it's actually about ourself. The whole thing is about ourself and the lessons that the self learns to integrate these two parts of itself together, right? And what's happening here is it seems like inside of this space, someone has had this moment of, hey, stop. The direction that you're going isn't leading anywhere. It's actually leading to the same place over and over. There's something here in this lover's energy, the masculine energy, the feminine energy. For some of you, you can think of that as your conscious self and your shadow, right? Especially if you're female, you can think of that as your conscious self and your shadow. And that angel is actually your inner child. Think about it as the inner child is the closest that we've ever been to divinity, right? Without the layers, without the preconceived notions, without the perceptions. The younger and further back you go, the more pure the state, right? This is the alchemy that's taking place to merge with that purified state. Someone here during this time period, we're coming back to some essence that brings us back into the past, into who we were, right? And we're going to find that we do these revolutions of going back further and further into who we were and reclaiming parts of ourselves, reclaiming some lost innocence. For some of you, this is very literal. It's connecting with that inner child and understanding that the inner child is very much the creator, right? It is the one creating all of this and going in and healing those insecurities of that inner child. And some of you, those insecurities and that war wasn't adopted in childhood. It was adopted later on, but it embeds itself inside of that complex of the shadow and the inner child. And I'm speaking purely from a shamanic point of view. This is the work that someone's doing. I'm not trying to tell somebody what to do, right? Remember that in my readings. It's never to tell you what to do. It's confirming for those who are doing it that this is what you're doing. And this is where I'm being told the message now really starts. So let's go ahead. Akashic Records. Oh, this one's gonna get... I can feel all the chills on this one. This one's gonna get pretty intense. Akashic Records, clearing old stories, releasing past lives, and freedom. This entire complex, whoever's message this is, we know that we've stepped into this to release the narrative that we keep interacting with, right? Whether you find yourself in the same patterns, or if you're just currently dealing with somebody inside of your life that is just a shithead, right? There's an internal dialogue happening. They're highlighting to you a conversation of self to the self. And when we are able to clear that energy for ourselves, what do? We release the record, right? We release the record of this from our soul signature. We free the child. We free the child. I want to note something. There's this sort of golden pearl here. Now, in some healing modalities, one of the chakras that sits way above our head is represented by a golden pearl. And there's something here about higher cosmic information coming in. Someone is starting to settle into the consciousness of a higher self. I personally don't like the idea of a higher self. I like to think of the deeper self. So however it resonates for you, someone is settling into that consciousness. From this consciousness, we are gaining bigger perspectives and a wider point of view so that we're not getting caught up in our reality, which is an echo of our internal dialogue, right? We're observing the internal dialogue. And what this is doing in effect, and I knew I had Thoth vibes coming in. I knew it. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't show up in this reading. This is the cosmic ordering. We're reordering our cosmic experience from a point of cosmic love, right? When you fill those spaces of discomfort and understand that that discomfort, it's not the real story. You can trust it. You can trust your reality. You can trust your universe, right? This is for somebody who's very far along their spiritual journey. I'm going to say that right now. You know, if you still have like a lot of grievances and bitternesses that you're holding on, you're probably going to find that this reading doesn't entirely resonate for you. And some of the things that I'm saying in this they're going to trigger you, right? Especially if you're still going through a heavy dose of trauma healing. This isn't going to be your reading, okay? For the person who this is for, we've cleared that out. We've cleared that out. It doesn't mean that we're perfect. It doesn't mean that there's not still some stuff left over baggage that's knocking around. Right now, there's a phase of our life where it's coming into the great work. And that's really what this Lover's card represents. The Lover's card in some ways mirrored by the Temperance card, right? We have the angel pouring cup into cup with one foot in the water, one foot on earth. I understand how my emotions are affecting reality, right? The 3D, the earth. Here with Emerald Tablet, there's a divine alchemy taking place. And this becomes conscious manifesting. It's all written right there. Right? Oh, if you can see it. Let's see. Okay, well, it's not going to zoom. And so this conscious manifesting, someone here is reality breaking. And that's what it feels like. It feels like reality breaking, the central sun, abundance downloads, regeneration, and success. The scarab beetle brings the sun back, right? What does the sun really represent? It represents that aspect of our, I don't want to say the solar plexus. I want to say, so there's this idea in, forgive me, I don't remember what branch of Hinduism it is, but there's an idea of this center that runs from the sacral chakra up into the solar plexus. It encompasses that entire part of the body, and it's called the cosmic ocean or the deep ocean. And it's considered a void space, and that we learn through practice and through our own spiritual evolution to fill that with cosmic love energy, right? That we learn to fill it with that cosmic energy, and we fill that void. And by filling that void, that brings us closer to our enlightenment. So again, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that someone here has learned to turn the focus off of the external world, place it deep within themselves in some very deep spaces, to see the interaction of the inner child and their shadow and their self, and how those three are really trying to alchemize, because those three are responsible for creating the external reality. For some of you, this is going to be the masculine aspect, the feminine aspect, the higher self. It's going to take different forms for everyone, right? And but what this is doing is we're erasing the stories of past lives, the stories of our past. We're slowly working through it. For some of you, this is quick. For some of you, it's going to be quick. But we're erasing those patterns and those narratives and those stories. And we're erasing the identity, which is the ego, right? This is one of the things that is keeping us in individuation. And again, I'm going into more of like a shamanic, magical, spiritual context. I don't want to get into like the psychology context because, you know, very different viewpoints there. But whoever this message is for, this is where we're understanding that we are all, and we understand the idea of we are one. There may be these bouts of loneliness that come in because of that, because we're understanding on some level that we are the only consciousness expressing itself through other forms, right? And this isn't from like a this isn't from like a sociopathic sort of context. This is from a very higher vantage point of spirituality that someone is operating from. This is what the deep mysteries always contained. No matter what religion you were part of, the deepest mysteries, the hidden orders, this is what they all understood, is that it's all one, and that you are that one, right? There's a very famous interview that was done with the Dalai Lama where he said, "I'm the center of the universe and you are the center of the universe." And he says all of this with this beautiful smile, and nobody understood what the hell he was talking about in this interview. But this is the mystery that the sages have all passed down. If you look at this reading, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing somebody who probably spends a great deal of time alone, a great deal of time in self-reflection. I get that a lot, right? In order to be part of the collective that resonates with my readings the most, you probably have spent a lot of time alone, really self-reflecting. I see that journaling is going to be important for somebody. Reading is going to be important to somebody, possibly even studying. There's going to be a high degree of connection to ancient gods. Particularly, I'm feeling Babylonia, Sumeria, and Egypt. You know, it could be other ones, but those are the ones that are coming through for me. There are these energies of, I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried that, brick wall, brick wall, brick wall, various places within your life, whoever this message is for. We've learned to open some of them up, quite possibly for most of you. If you haven't, you're about to. But there does seem to be this one area and this one focal point that keeps sticking. And this is what is really presenting us. I'm getting like emotional even talking about this. It's one of the areas that's presenting us with the deep core wounds. Oh, that's powerful. And this is about the energy of love, right? We keep being brought as people through the cycles of our life into deeper and deeper lessons about the energy of love. And what this is coming to is someone is starting to really integrate and understand the lesson that it is literally all love. Now, if you go back into my older readings, you'll see readings where I actually counter that. A different paradigm, there's a reason why. But for this message, this is the lesson that's coming through, is that it is all love. And what we are experiencing in our external world is the love that we're actually giving ourselves, right? So someone is bringing all of their lessons, all of their learning back home for whoever this collective is. Okay. I don't know why I'm feeling drawn to this deck right now. Let's see. Yeah. This is our experience in the past, right? Oh, sorry about that. The heartless love. Okay. This is our experience in the past. This is the foundations on which our ideas of partnerships, friendships, love romances, platonic, romantic, professional, whatever they might be, right? This is the foundation on which those relationships were built. They were built on the idea of heartless love. So quite possibly parents that abandoned us or were neglectful, or early experiences in romance of being rejected over and over, things like that, right? And so what's happening here is that the self is giving lessons to try to navigate us back to a space where, even if we can't fully embrace the cosmic love that is currently always in our lives, we at least are understanding that we can have hope. One of the major things that is helping someone ground into this energy and integrate it is the word trust, right? Understanding that when I think about my reflection, I can trust myself. This is really deep. This gets to that level of deeper levels of mysticism and reality coding that words start to feel short. And so I'm struggling a little bit to really provide the essence, but I feel that if this is your story, you will understand exactly what's being conveyed here. This is powerful. This is probably one of the most powerful readings I think I've ever gotten. Whoever this message is for, you're on the path of the sages. You're on the path of enlightenment. That's probably what you resonate with, is trying to become enlightened and really, really awakening the deeper aspects of soul. For some of you, you might not even worry about labeling it that way. You might be super chill and like that's not even how you're trying to label it. But this dead end, whatever it is, was necessary in order to get us to turn our focus back inward. What you're going to find is that once you bring this energy into that dead end, this is what happens, right? So whoever this message is for, this is very powerful stuff. This is very powerful stuff. I feel like this just set up my day for some super powerful experiences. So thank you. And I hope this resonates with you. If it does resonate with you, feel free to hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment. And until next time.